About town together.
Good evening. Well, welcome to this meeting of Westminster's Mayor and Common Council. The council meets on the second and fourth Mondays of every month. Please note that council meetings, although open to the public, are also available and streamed live on the city's YouTube page, as well as the Community Media Center channel and website. We're pleased to be back in our usual place here at Westminster's historic City Hall. I have to note it's not historic because it's City Hall, but because it was once the home of Colonel John Longwell, who had a great deal to do with the founding of Carroll County and then represented us in the state senate and was county commissioner. This was his home, Emerald Hill, for many years, and we're pleased for the city to be able to use it. Now we begin as we do every meeting with the pledge to the flag followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. As a courtesy to everyone, please take a moment to silence your cell phones or any other electronic devices you have that might interrupt the meeting. Thank you for your cooperation. Copies of tonight's agenda and the entire information packet that the council will be using are available online on the city's website. Copies of the agenda, tonight's meeting, are available here in front of the room for those who are present. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. We have minutes from the meeting of the Mayor and Common Council on March 24th, 2025. We have a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Been a motion by Mr. Dayhoff to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
The second by Ms. Gilbert. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes seem to have it. The ayes, I'm sorry. All those opposed? The ayes seem to have it. The ayes have it. And the minutes are approved. We have a committee appointment from the mayor this evening. Dr. Becker?
Right, thank you, Mr. President. I'm pleased to introduce to the Common Council Mr. Peter Basile, who we will hopefully appoint to the Board of Zoning Appeals in just a minute. I have known Mr. Basile since he's moved on to Green Street in Westminster. He is very level-headed litigator, correct? Yeah, and I think would be outstanding appointment for the Board of Zoning Appeals. I'd like to thank Council President Greg Pecoraro for the suggestion. And I'm gonna turn it over to you in case you'd like to say a couple things as well.
Well, thank you, Mayor. I'm pleased to endorse the appointment of Mr. Basile to the Board of Zoning Appeals. He is a neighbor, as you all know, since I live up street on Green Street, and he's been a great neighbor. You know, we've gotten involved in the community pretty quickly, and he's, I think, the kind of person we need to be, you know, pointing to our boards and commissions. He is an attorney, brings a wealth of knowledge to this appointment, and I think has the right skill set, and is going to be the kind of person who's going to help implement the vision of the mayor and council on our boards and commissions. So I'm you know, glad to to have brought his name to the mayor's attention, and glad to support him tonight.
I think everyone's had a chance to look at his application and the resume that was submitted. There any questions regarding the appointment?
All right, thank you, Mayor. All right, any discussion or comments? May I have a motion to approve the mayor's appointment?
I'll move to approve, Mr. President.
I have a motion by Mr. Camachi. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Go with Mr. Dayhoff to second the appointment. All those in favor, any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move on to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes seem to have it, and the ayes have it. And Mr. Basile is confirmed. Congratulations, or condolences, or whatever. You are welcome to stay, but it is not necessary. Thank you very much.
Wonderful meeting. Of course you would. It's a short meeting.
It's a short meeting.
I didn't know to stay.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Next item on the agenda is the consent calendar. We have 4 items on the consent calendar this evening. May I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
There's been a motion by Mr. Hoff. Is there a second?
And to the table.
There's a second by Mr. Cavachi. It's nice everybody's jumping in to participate tonight. All those in favor of the consent calendar, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes seem to have it, the ayes have it, and the consent calendar is approved. Report from the mayor, Dr. Becker.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a couple things to report on this evening. First of all, I want to say thanks to all the staff that have enabled us to return to City Hall for our meetings. 45 West Main looks amazing. You couldn't tell that it had been closed, at least to my eyes. You couldn't tell that it has been closed for several weeks due to a water main break or a water break inside the building. And I'm sure staff are happy to be back in their offices. Even though I have heard that the council president has missed the company in City Hall during the day. Sort of got used to that after
True
2
enough.
weeks, right? I'd also like to thank the council for approving Mr. Basile to the Board of Zoning Appeals this evening. Outside of several committee meetings, I attended the Historical Society of Carroll County Shaken and Stirred event on Thursday, April 3rd, showcasing the city's relationship. Well, I talked about the city's relationship and with McDaniel College. I talked for just a few minutes about the relationship, focusing on our collaboration and welcoming students and their families in town, improvements to the city that we've made to improve the experience for McDaniel students. And I also talked a little bit about the internships that the city has offered some of the students from McDaniel College. Aaron Benedito, which I think most of you up here know, was there and gave me thumbs up the entire way through my 4 or 5 minute presentation. But I want to say I think that the audience did learn some new things. I don't think very many people in the audience knew about the internships. There were some older alumni there who I could see sort of nodding their heads and following along. And I did get the chance afterwards to answer a few questions about the relationship between the city and McDaniel. On Wednesday, April 9th, I hosted author Dolan Perkins Valdez at Exploration Commons. She had the release of her most recent book called Happy Land. The event was sponsored by Park Books on Main in Sykesville. I spent an enjoyable 45 minutes in conversation with Perkins Valdez. We had some wonderful comments and questions from the crowd. Individuals from as far away as DC attended this book reading, this book event. And it was really nice to see a crowd in Exploration Commons. And the book is amazing. If you're interested in reading it, called Happy Land. On Sunday, April 13th, I hopped into the exciting egg hunt and bunny trail at Wakefield Valley. I love the bunny trail project this year, Mrs. Groover. I think the building of a terrarium was just perfect. That appealed to the environmental side of me. And also, I'm so glad that you moved it to Sunday due to the weather. Just two other things. The Peep Show is currently running through April 21st in the town mall. This supports Carroll Arts Center. So please head out and give your support to the Arts Center. This is one of their largest fundraisers. This is one of the highest attended tourist events in Carroll County. And if you're not familiar with it, they are marshmallow peeps, not other kind of peep shows. And then don't forget, we have the wine stroll coming up on April 26th, which will occur before our next council meeting. And that's my report.
All right, thank you, Mayor. We'll move on now to reports from committees. We'll begin with our liaison to the Carroll County Arts Council, Mr. Dayhoff.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I'll just dovetail on the remarks by the mayor. There were over 6,000 folks that came to Westminster this past weekend for the Peep Show. The Peep Show will continue until Monday, Easter Monday, April the 21st. The hours are Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 a.m. and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. A lot of folks are mentioning that this is the highest attended tourist event in Carroll County throughout the year. I think a lot of folks come to some of our tolls, our strolls, so a lot of folks come. It's a big tourist event. A lot of folks come. So if you have a chance, get out and support the Peep Show. It's the Carroll Arts Council's chief fundraiser, and it's simply a great event. It's known throughout the country for being a unique event. And that'll be my presentation.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dayhoff. Economic and Community Development Committee, Mr. Hoff.
Nothing to report tonight, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hoff. On behalf of the Finance Committee, I will report that the Finance Committee has been meeting with the City Administrator and Finance Director, reviewing their draft of the budget. And we are, I think, making good progress in, making some, initial decisions to present to all of you when we get to the budget workshop. We have another meeting coming up later in the week, and then the budget workshops will be following soon thereafter, and we look forward to everyone's input on these items. I have nothing to report from the Personnel Committee. Public Safety, Mr. Kamachi.
Thank you, Mr. President. On March 30th, the Westminster Police Department patrol officers identified and located and arrested 53-year-old John Denny for commercial burglaries of the Starry Night Bakery and Nana and Pop's Barbershop that occurred just an hour prior. Additionally, on April 1st, the Westminster Police Department officers obtained an arrest warrant for Mr. Denny for a third criminal burglary at the Westminster Car Wash. So job well done there. On April 8th, during the National Public Health Week celebration breakfast at the Carroll County Health Department, the Westminster Police Department was recognized for an outstanding community partner as an outstanding community partner for their collaboration with the overdose quick response team and the law enforcement assisted diversion programs. So they do a lot of real good things, and it's nice to see some other agencies recognizing that good work. On March 26th, police recruit Justin Dean graduated from the Carroll County Sheriff's Office Police Academy. I was honored to be able to swear him in. And following his Army Reserve obligation, Officer Dean will be starting his field training in the patrol division. That's it, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kavachi. Public Works, Ms. Gilbert.
Yes, the Streets Department assisted in relocating the staff back to the city administrative offices as Mayor Beckert mentioned during her report. We are now fully operational at 45 West Main. Public Works staff also assisted in the Main Street Mile event last week, and they are busy preparing for the upcoming wine stroll that will be in the next 2 weekends.
All right.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Would you also like to give us a report on the Recreational Parks Committee?
Sure would, thank you. The 42nd Annual Main Street Mile. I don't know, I kind of find it hard to believe that it's been 42 years. Was held on Wednesday, April 9th at 7 p.m. Over 450 runners descended upon Main Street on this historically fast downhill course. The race started at the intersection of Fair Avenue and the finished in front of the Westminster Library. After the run, participants were invited back to the Westminster Family Fitness Center for a post-race party offering ice cream, sandwiches, and awards. This year, the award ceremony was emceed by Councilmember Dayhoff and the Westminster Running Club.
Westminster Roadrunners Club.
Thank you, I forgot it was Roadrunners. The fastest male finisher crossed the finish line in 4 minutes and 7 seconds. Fastest female, 4 minutes and 52 seconds. I'm not sure who they were, but that's quite a fast time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, even
That's fine.
downhill or
I
not,
like
it's
it.
still fast.
I'm gonna just
I could probably roll.
I
now.
was gonna say that, but you took
I
the
was
words
gonna
right out
say
of my
that,
mouth.
yeah.
So onward past the run or roll, whichever we wanna go. Since it rained and we have been kind of like rowing a boat for the past week around here. Because of the adverse weather conditions, we had to move the city's egg sighting bunny trail and egg hunt that was initially scheduled for Saturday to Sunday, the exact same times, but on Sunday. This proved favorable as Sunday offered terrific weather, warmer temperatures, as long as the sun remained out, not behind the clouds with the wind blowing, but it was warmer temperatures and drier conditions. And the kids had fun walking the path, making their personal terrarium. I know my grandson was excited, and now I am obligated to remove the bunnies after Easter and now go to the local plant store and add more plants to it. So we will have the forever terrarium in our house, or in my house. The preparations are now also underway for the first stroll of the year, which will be the wine stroll. And that is all I have.
All right, thank you, Ms. Gilbert. Wrap things up. Mr. Dayhoff, anything from the Technology Committee this evening?
No report, Mr. President. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dayhoff. Now is the opportunity, now's the next item is council comments and discussion. This is the opportunity for council members to share anything else they would like to mention that is not elsewhere on the agenda or in the committee report. And we begin with Mr. Kavachi.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just quickly, I'd like to follow up on your report from the Finance Committee. In beginning the process of working through the budget, which is initially the Finance Committee's responsibility, then of course it comes to the entire body for review and approval. It became apparent to me, number one, Ms. Imholz is always on point. She's always has it together. She's always very impressive, especially in that arena. And there was no surprises again this year as we began the process, exactly what you'd expect from her. But what I was really impressed with was Ms. Rogers has really come into her own. It was apparent throughout the entire meetings that we've had that she's just really got to the next level. She came to us without really municipal experience, obviously great financial experience, but not municipal level experience. And clearly, Ms. Imholz and we, to an extent, by approving her, made a real good decision because she's definitely at that next level now. And I walked away thinking, wow, this is good. So that's it, Mr. President.
Thank you for saying that, Mr. Kavachi. I concur in that. I've really enjoyed the opportunity over the last several months to get to work with Ms. Rogers. She's doing a terrific job. And I got to hear some of her conversations as she was working on the budget early on. And I was very impressed. And as with everybody else, we've got a terrific team.
Yep.
Managing the senior with the senior staff. So thank you. Mr. Dayhoff.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to call everyone's attention that this Friday is the annual ministerium's sponsored crosswalk. It's the Good Friday crosswalk. It'll begin at the Church of the Ascension at 11 o'clock and proceed through town. I also want to mention that I want to echo the mayor's remarks about the Shaken and Stirred event. She did a wonderful job and I really appreciated her remarks. And I believe that my remarks were perhaps a minute shorter than yours. Everyone in the audience was timing. Everyone in the audience was timing.
I finished my talk in
7 minutes.
7 minutes, and I challenged Councilmember Dayhoff publicly that his talk must be shorter than mine. Much to his delight, I think everyone was in the audience.
Surprise.
But he did it. He did it. Everyone was timing you though.
Everyone was timing me.
Can we make that a rule?
I mean,
Not a bet I would have taken.
Well, along those lines, I will continue to perseverate with my council comments. I spoke about the history of McDaniel and the Baltimore Colts' impact on desegregation in Carroll County, Westminster, and Maryland. They played a key and critical role in adopting the Public Accommodations Act in 1964. And I was able to go over that history. Dr. Zepp and I were very close friends, and he was involved in that. And I took a class or two from him, and he took that opportunity to give me the entire history, and it was quite fascinating. And I was able to boil down a 33-page paper to less than 7 minutes, and I was proud of myself. I want to remind everyone that the Lutheran Synod will meet in Westminster again for the 3rd year in a row at the end of May. It's about 600 folks that come to town, and it makes things a little interesting, especially since Shepherd Staff has now been torn down and they're going to begin the construction process, which we're really anxiously awaiting. That's going to be a great infrastructure improvement in town, but it's going to take up some parking spaces. Fortunately, Father Mark Bielik and I are working together to provide some parking up at the Catholic Church. And we hope that that goes smoothly. The police department's always been a great help with that, and we really appreciate that. The 42nd Main Street Mile. I have been to every one of the 42nd Main Street miles. I used to run it. I do not run it any longer. And the demonstration that we recently had a demonstration in town in which there were a lot of folks in town, and there were a lot of folks from out of town. And I was really impressed to interview a number of the folks that came in from out of town who were so impressed at how welcoming and accommodating the city of Westminster was for that event. It was an awful lot of folks. The police did a wonderful job. Everybody went away really happy about the event. I am happy though that we are moving it because a number of the merchants spoke with me about how it restricted some of their commercial and retail trade during that event because Main Street was full. And we're going to have another event coming up. And I think moving that event is going to be really good for Westminster and the demonstrators. So that's all good. I can continue, Mr. President. Do you want me to?
I think we're good.
Oh, you think we're good? Okay, thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dayhoff. Ms. Gilbert.
A couple of things have already been mentioned this evening, but I'll just highlight them quickly. I also was excited to see the next chapter for Shepherd staff as their previous building and home is now demolished and cleared. I cannot believe how quickly that 3-story building came down and shed came down and is gone. And they will be now planning for the next chapter in Shepherd staff's life and building a new building. Speaking of demolishing, the city also is entering a new chapter for Westminster as the old livestock auction, as many of us know it as, was demolished within the past 2 weeks, and we will be making way for the new footprint of the building for Pure Water Westminster. Councilman Dayhoff and Mayor Becker did a great job at this Shaken Up Spirit event, and as everyone did say, Councilman Dayhoff was maybe seconds shorter than Mayor Becker.
Thank you.
Luckily, I did not bet any money on that. And I wanted to extend a huge thank you to the public works staff on their extra work, their dedication, and their patience all during the several weeks that we had the flood now that everyone is back at home. Upcoming events, the Republican Women of Carroll County will be holding their first annual Women of the Year brunch celebration, celebrating the life and career of the Honorable Delegate Susan Krebs at the Hempstead Fire Department on April 26th at 10:30. The peep show is going on at the mall and the wine stroll is coming up very shortly in 2 weeks. And don't forget, we have jobs posted on our Parks and Rec site or on our job site for the pool and for summer camps.
All right, thank you, Ms. Gilbert. Mr. Hawk.
Yes, Mr. President. I did want to touch on the fact, as Chair of Intergovernmental Relations, the legislative session finished up last week. We once again got our $1 million towards our fiber project, which in the budget year that the state was in is quite an accomplishment. I really want to give my sincere appreciation to our delegation, Senator Reedy, Delegate Rose, Tomlinson, Boucher, and Stanko, for their roles that they played in helping to bring that money back to Westminster. And I also, want to thank some of our other friends down there, Delegate Ben Barnes, Jazz Lewis, as well as Senator Craig Zucker, who was very instrumental in helping Westminster in this regard. And it really takes a team effort. I very much appreciate the council president and the mayor. They went down to Annapolis, I believe, more than once to advocate for this additional money. And I know all three of us spent a lot of different time on the phone talking to various people, whether that's members of our delegation or our lobbyists. But it was quite an accomplishment to bring that money home yet once again in the environment that the state was in. So I very much express our appreciation to our delegation and everybody that was involved in that work to bring that money home. So thank you, Mr. President.
All right, Thank you very much, Mr. Hoff. I don't think I have anything to add. So I will not. Next item is unfinished business. There is no unfinished business of which I'm aware. Does anybody have any unfinished business? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next item, which is new business. One item, Mr. Kalachi.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Common Council adjourn into a closed meeting on Monday, April 14th, 2025, at the conclusion of the regular meeting in accordance with general provisions, Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland 3-305B, Section B, subsection 1, to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this body has jurisdiction. Any other personnel matters that affects one or more specific individuals.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kalachi. Is there a second?
Second.
The second by Ms. Gilbert. All in favor of closing the meeting at the conclusion of the regular meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes seem to have it, and let's have it, and the motion is adopted. So we will go into a closed meeting at the end of the regular meeting. Next is departmental reports. Ms. Imhoff, would you like to lead us through those?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. We are so glad to be back into 45 West. I'm happy to be in this room and have it look like a council chambers, as it was always intended to, instead
I
of
have pictures.
the finance office. We are appreciative of this building. We're very lucky as a city to have had this asset available, and the teams that we had involved that could move quickly, and especially the IT department who managed to get us up and running very, very quickly in this building. Had we not, we had adequate insurance through Legit. We could have rented space somewhere. I think that would have been a nightmare on top of a nightmare, and it would have been more costly in the end. This was a homey location for us. The team really worked hard, and I mean the larger team, not just the team that was in this building, to make this a usable space for everyone. And that includes the public, to make sure that the public could access the services they need, and that we were all able to get our work done and keep operations continued as much as possible. But I'm extremely grateful to be back in my office at 45 West. That is a beautiful building that this council spent a lot of money and time to renovate, and we're happy to be back there. We learned a lot about how this particular building functions, so I think you'll be hearing more in the future about ideas we have for this building. And anyway, as Ms. Gilbert said, Councilmember Gilbert said, I want to thank the staff that was involved. There were many, 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 including a recreation department that helped keep our spirits high. The police department that helped make sure that we were all safe while we were here, and of course, the public works department and the IT department worked tirelessly on weekends, during the week, at night, trying to make sure everybody was safe and that our records were kept well and that we were a smooth transition. So thanks, everyone. I really appreciate that.
Mr. President, I got a quick question.
Mr. Kalachi.
Mr. Mills, how many people were here in this building working?
There were 3 employees that are housed at 45 West that did not come over into this building, but the entirety of 45 West moved over into this building.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people. And we didn't purchase any furniture with the exception of printers. It turns out we like a printer around here. But we utilized folding tables that we use for events. And you may recall, I think the mayor mentioned this at one of our meetings, that we moved staff into an office, mine was one of them, then moved them back out so that we could hold the whiskey tasting up in those offices. So we were very flexible, we pivoted a lot. I don't know that stereotypically government's known for their ability to pivot, but we were able to do that, and that's only because of the work of the Public Works Department, the work of the IT department, and honestly, the attitude of staff and the willingness to deal with it.
Thank you.
Yeah. We are in the middle of the budget season, which thankfully, maybe not so thankfully, involves many, many, many staff members. So while we are currently at the level where we're presenting to the Finance Committee, this budget and the budgets from years past involve many, 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 many staff members who help prepare all those numbers for us and make sure that the services that you're looking for and that they're looking for are included in the budget. I thank you for your words about Ms. Rogers. She certainly deserves them. And we are going to start tonight with the Finance Department. Ms. Rogers?
Thank you, Ms. Imhoff. Good evening. I just want to thank you for your kind words. It's been fun working on the budget and it continues on. And as Ms. Imhoff said, there's certainly a lot of debt of gratitude also owed to the directors, to the superintendents, the assistant superintendents, and any other staff members that participated in putting the budget together. There's a lot of work that goes into that. So I thank all of them publicly and I thank you. That's the end of my report.
Are there any questions for the Finance Director? Hearing none, we will move on to the Recreation Department. Ms. Gerber?
Good evening. Well, the Recreation and Parks Department would never say that it's fun working on the budget. So Ms. Rogers, thank you to you for taking the wheel because I mathed hard for about 2 hours today and I had to go outside and like walk around the park when I was done. Nevertheless, now that Main Street Mile and the egg hunt are behind the Recreation and Parks Department, we are fully focused. Doesn't even look like an egg hunt happened in our building. Everything is put away in storage and we are now prepping for the wine stroll, which is coming up on April 26th. So we did a very quick gear change today and we're rolling. In addition to that, on April 1st, our VIP experience tickets went on sale for the beer and barbecue stroll and sales for those tickets are brisk. So we are moving right along into event season. And in addition to those things carrying on, we're also pulling in applications thanks to our HR team, and we're interviewing potential candidates for our summer staff positions, and we're getting that process moving as well because our lovely municipal pool will be open before we know it, and our buildings will be filled with children for summer camp. So we are very much anticipating all of the events coming around the corner, and we thank you for your continued support. That ends my report unless there's questions.
We're not opening anything new at the pool. We have another thing we're having on yet.
Knock it off.
We are renovating the locker rooms. We are currently renovating the locker rooms. So, yes, sort of.
Tearing up the grass and the astroturf.
It's a joke.
Sorry, just a joke.
Ms. Gruber, that's a joke. I'm gonna get a budget request tomorrow. Are there any questions for the Recreation and Parks Department? Yes, sir.
Folks are signing up because I never recall getting so many requests for information about the pool of the year. So the sign up is going well.
Yes, very well. Your memberships are brisk.
I'm hearing a lot of positive feedback from folks who go to the website. So that's all good, but I can never recall getting so many questions about the pool, so it's good. That'll be all. Thank you.
Thank you. Hearing no more questions, we'll move on to the IT Department. Mr. Moore.
So else, so in addition to moving people back to 45, Streets Department was instrumental in helping us get that equipment booster quickly. We were able to take our time, do it right, get everything back up with very minimal downtime, so that was nice. Working on budget, finalize that for the IT department, and then the normal flow that comes in. We did get our ordering done, our yearly ordering a little bit earlier this year to try to beat some, hopefully, with the uncertainty in the market to beat some of the price increases. So we want to get some of those things in before any of those increase out, and so we've already started receiving that stock in. But other than that, just the daily fun stuff that we do. That's all I have. Any other questions?
Any other questions for Mr. Moore? Hearing none, we will move on to the Planning Department. Mr. Depot.
Thank you. On April 1st, the Board of Zoning Appeals approved BZA case 2502, an application by the property owner requesting special exception approval for a conversion dwelling use, allowing a total of 2 dwelling units at 148 West Main Street. On April 2nd, the Historic District Commission approved post-construction application for historic rehabilitation tax credit for 160 West Main Street. This credit went towards repairing the carriage house and repairing the chimney and roof of the main house. This is also in conjunction with a special exception approval for a conversion dwelling at the property. The HDC also continued its discussion on its implementation plan and nation's 250th preparations. On April 7th, the Planning and Zoning Commission is scheduled to hold a public hearing for ordinance 2025-04. approving local map amendment LMA 2502 to designate certain real property located in the IR restricted industrial zone as a floating cannabis overlay zone for the establishment of a cannabis processor. The Mayor and Common Council did introduce this ordinance back on March 10th, 2025. We anticipate it to come back to Mayor and Common Council for public hearing on April 28th. The Planning Commission is also scheduled to review a modification to the architectural features approved with Site Plan S2244 for Northeastern Supply at 40 Magna Way. The department did hold a Bird City application kickoff meeting today, so that process is on its way. And the city was designated for the 35th year a Tree City. And that completes my report.
Are there any questions for Mr. Depot? Mr. Depot?
I apologize. I also want to point out that we do have a new downtown Westminster business directory that's fresh off the presses that is available at City Hall, and we should have this up online as well.
Good.
So it does list, it does provide a map of the downtown area as well as the shops in downtown, and it's a full list. So that's it.
It's nice, I mean, it's got the new businesses and restaurants, and it's also got the park mobile information.
Yes, and this should be up to date, yes.
You said this is available at City Hall or at 45 West?
I'm sorry, 45 West Main Street, thank you. I'm still used to being here.
I never know where to find Mr. Depot anymore.
Any questions for Mr. Depot? No. Hearing none, we will move on to the Police Department, Chief Ledwell.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Happy for him, sorry for us. Captain Jeff Schuster has put in his retirement papers. So he will be retiring at the end of this month. And that will leave us with some pretty big investigative shoes to fill. We're planning right now for continuity of operation and eventual promotion processes. And as a quick reminder, Wednesday at 9 a.m. is our annual award ceremony, which is held at the Best Western Conference Center. And that's all that I have, unless you have any questions for me.
Are there any questions for the police chief? Hearing none, that concludes the departmental reports.
All right, very good. Thank you very much, Ms. Imhoff and all the directors. Final item on our agenda is citizens' comments, where we invite the public to address the mayor and council on any issues that pertain to tonight's agenda or any other city issues. For citizens not attending the public meeting, we invite you to send us your comments or concerns via email at comments@westminstermd.gov. All comments received by email will be shared with the mayor and council. We ask that commenters please include your address and phone number with your comments when you email them in. We'll now invite comments from anyone who is present this evening. This is an opportunity for the public to share their thoughts and concerns with the mayor and council. Our role at this point is to listen to the comments and respond as appropriate after consultation with staff and each other. We ask everyone to keep that in mind as they make their comments. Now, is there anyone with us tonight who wishes to be heard? If so, please give us your name and address for the record. Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Javier Toro. I'm a resident of 428 Spalding Court, Westminster, Furnace Hills. Telephone number 703-474-6667. A couple of months ago, I was here bringing to your attention my concerns that we need a sidewalk in the Furnace Hills area, Windsor Drive, connecting with Wakefield Valley Trail. I noticed that there was a sign put up that lights up when there's a vehicle, but pretty much that's it. The area is still poorly lit. People, now that summer's around the corner, people are starting to walk on the street. There's no wheelchair access to that trail. Just wanted to check what has been done about it, anything planned about it. Because we do need a sidewalk that people are walking on the street.
Right.
Children, adults, seniors, people on bicycles.
Now, I'm not aware. Ms. Imhoff, can you follow up and get an answer from Mr. Lewis on this?
Sure.
Thank you. We will follow up. We'll get you the information on that. Thank you very much. Okay. Is there anyone else who wishes to be heard tonight? Okay, in that case, that concludes our agenda and the meeting. Let me remind everybody that We will be going into a closed session at the end of the regular meeting, and it is not our intention to return to a regular session after that. Our next regular meeting will be Monday, April 28th. And with that, and without objection, we are adjourned. Thank you.